Hi and welcome back to my channel. It's all about EVs, bikes, cars, test drives, showrooms, modifications, and today we're at the LA Autoshow. And if you like what you see, subscribe, like button, all of that. And yeah, I'm going to show you some of the highlights from the LA Autoshow in terms of EVs. And yeah, let's start looking around, shall we? So the very first company that I encountered here is INDI EV. So INDI EV was founded in downtown LA 2017. It's a very young company, but they're already setting up their production line in Ohio with Foxconn to be able to push these cars out. So I think this design is just pretty neat. It looks like a sneaker. It's chunky. Especially this color I found really cool. It looks almost black from a distance, but you see it's got these like metallic sparkles in purple up close. And the interior, it doesn't have a full leather type feel to it. It looks more like a wool blend or something like that. And I guess it's for display purposes, but you see the back seat is gray, whereas the front here has more of a white or off-white color. So the car might look small, it's not. As you can see, the tire size here, it's a 22-inch tire, so tires are massive, or wheels are massive on this car. 475 brake horsepower in a 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. That's pretty amazing, and it's all-wheel drive. Battery size is good, range is good. I mean, need to see some real-life figures here, but it seems for sure that they did their homework. What's really fun here is the color options. They're really poppy. Laguna, Melrose, Catalina, Golden State, Beverly Blush, Sunset, so on. The founder of this company, he was into gaming and tech, so he wanted a car that he could do gaming in. So you can see the whole computer here. You can do rendering, you can work on Photoshop. It's like a computer on wheels. And I don't know if that is too much or if it's just a great idea. We'll see. '67 by Charge Cars. It's just called a 67 because, of course, it's a 67 Mustang. Ooh, this is a dreaming thing. Look at this. The interior looks insane. So you have that kind of like retro style meets the futuristic stuff. So you have the monitors. Looks very EV. It blends so well with the old retro style of this thing. Here is so clean. Look at this. My God, this is perfection. They got a hefty price tag, of course. They're actually made in London. It's $450,000. The motors are from Arrival. It's a 550 horsepower thing. So this thing is a beauty. It's so bespoke and it's so cool. Like, I don't know. I just, I want to get one now. Take my money. This is the coolest EV of 2022. I saw this at Pebble Beach, the Manx. So it seems like there's no one here to talk about this car, but obviously it's a beach buggy turned EV. Totally impractical, but just so cool looking, right? Buggy rebooted, that's for sure. So it could do 300 miles, but it's got 2 electric motors. Basically, you can't carry anything, you can't transport anything, but you'll look the coolest. Then you just lift up the license plate and plug that in. That's a really nice feature. Why haven't anyone thought about that before? Just hide the charge port door under the license plate. These bucket seats and these squared textile trimmings. So the Ioniq 6 is the first car in the main hall. Like most designs, this one is up for discussion. I think, for me, I'm not completely sold on it. I kind of like the rear of the car, which looks a little Porsche-esque, but in general, yeah, maybe the design will grow on me. I really like the Ioniq 5 with its boxy type design. This angle is kind of cool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is it a hit or is it a miss, the Ioniq 6? Would you be getting this over the Model 3 or the Polestar 2, for example? Boom. Now this is a signature piece for sure. Really cool. And then the interior, like that floating type bridge thing with the cup holders, and then there's a lot of space for storage underneath. I'm not sold on their design for steering wheels, but I do like the kind of like wide digital dashboard or cluster. And the headlights also have this kind of pattern, same as for the taillights. I do love this paint. I don't know what this is called, but it has like a pearl iridescent type look to it. It's light blue, gray-ish, floppy. Really cool. And this, why are concept cars always the coolest? I think this design though, it has a lot of like the angular Ioniq 5 type style, but also it just looks a little bit like you know, the rally Audi Quattros of the 80s mixed with maybe a little bit of a DeLorean. I don't know, there's so many cool design reference here. This thing's just insane. Obviously it's not a production car, but we can hope that some of this will be incorporated into maybe the next sporty Hyundai EV. And oh, this car, look at it. All right, and what is this? It is the all-new Prius, and what a car it is. Well done, Toyota. I think everything about this design is just so good. The front end looks really almost angry, and the line here with the grille leading up to the headlights swooping back around, I think that's a really cool feature. The side of the car is almost minimalist. It's very, well, basic. There's not a lot of lines going on there, but the front has a lot of lines. And you can see there's like a diagonal here coming off this, the bottom side moving up towards the rear wheel arch, which is kind of cool. And there's another line on the top where you have a shadow for the shoulder, which makes it look like really muscular. And moving to the rear, yeah, it looks like a sports car is what I wanted to say. Well done, Toyota. And this car is something that's really interesting. I think the Genesis, and look at this color, wow. It seems Genesis have done a really good job with this car. I mean, it's a Model Y contender. I think design-wise, it's really unique, and I love the wheel design. Look at these wheels, really nice. And that sort of dark graphite gray will look great to white, look cool to black. I mean, this works for basically any color, but it's so much more nice than a standard silver wheel. And this, by now, kind of like iconic Genesis design with the 2 compartments for headlights. I mean, that's the signature headlight, if any. The back of the car, we have the same type design. So a 2-way split, and yeah, the GV60, I think this is a really interesting product. I can't wait to drive one. I'm yet to test it out myself, but I hear lots of great things about it, and it's really quick. It's got a boost function, and I saw it outperform a Tesla Model Y Performance quite a bit, so this is speedy. Let's have a look inside as well, shall we? So the color continues a little bit on the inside here, but it's more bluish than on the outside. You can see also like there's an inlay here which is sort of like signal yellow. Yeah, the screen has more of a swoopy, like curved type setup, all on a horizontal placement. Now this is cool. Look at this Ariya. Really retro styled with 50s, 60s surf look. So the wheel and then the like wooden type panel side. Now this is cool. I love modifications like this. Can we not just agree on that this is the coolest thing ever? And why wouldn't someone do this to a Model Y? Maybe with real wood though, so it looks even better. Vinfast, they're going big. Certainly. I don't know why there aren't more cars here. There's just a lot of empty canvas here, a lot of chairs and tables, but they're going big. And I'm doing a separate vlog with Vinfast because I think it's a really interesting brand, and they're already producing cars since years back, so it's not like one of these newcomers where we don't know if they'll be able to put cars on the market we definitely know that these guys can ramp it up. So Vinfast, they have the 6, the 7, the 8 and the 9 on display here, all according to size. So this looks very dynamic. Obviously you can see it's got a short overhang in the front and it's got a really short overhang in the back. I do love the different creases they've created here for the back. And the color makes it pop, of course. If you're not shy to color, this copper is nice. I know that they're not charging extra for this. You can have the car any color you want, and it's not going to cost you anything more than the sticker price. I do think these headlights are really cool. I don't know why the smaller cars have this signature light, whereas the bigger cars have more conventional lights, but the 6 and the 7 both have this strip light situation going on, and I think it's really cool. This is now the 7, which has a lot of the same design features as the 6, but obviously it is longer. You can see that the rear passenger door leading into the back is longer, and there's more trunk space as well. I don't know, personally I don't love the design as much on this. It reminds me a little bit the EV6 in the way that it's very long, like it's a Dachshund sort of design. I think the rear, once again here, has a really interesting design. I love everything that's a little bit out of the ordinary, so that not every car maker does their cars the same. And in some ways, I think the VF6 and the 7 both look really futuristic and modern and exciting, whereas if we head over to the 8, which is the one I'll be doing a vlog about, the one that's currently on sale in the US, looks good, but it looks a little less futuristic, is what I'm trying to say. So this is the VF8, which is the smaller, I mean, it's not small for Europe, it's at least a mid-size type SUV. It has a little bit of a similar design, but you can see the headlights are more like standard type headlights, where they look more like a LED on the VF7. So Vinfast, they've gone for this more, well, Tesla type setup with only the one screen there. There's not a curved screen on top of the dashboard. I think this looks really neat and tidy, and Pininfarina designed this, and I think it's kind of cool how they did the center console, which looks very like supercar-esque with different drive modes or gears, if you will. The VF9, this is probably going to be the top seller in the US, because this is the bigger sized SUV of them all. This comes as a 7-seater, and as you can see, it's got a really long wheelbase. It looks almost like a Suburban. The door seems to be really massive. So lighting is terrible, but you can see the third seat row there. And then this is the second normal row. And then the front has same type instrument setup, like there's no cluster. It's just like Tesla type single screen center stack. So this is the back of the VF9, so not a ton of storage, but of course with the seats folded, yeah, you'll get a lot of space here. And as you can see, there's also a screen in the center console rear. So a really nice LCD screen there. So this is the Cadillac Lyriq. I do think this is a really beautiful car. It looks luxurious, but it also looks dynamic. I love the design of these taillights. And yeah, I never thought I would be like wowed by a Cadillac, but I think this is a wow. Yes, I do think this truck will gain immense traction, because it's based off the ordinary F150, so it's very easy for people to digest, in the sense of both like how it looks, and also of course that if they're used to an ordinary F150, then this is the electric version. There's a lot of carryovers for accessories as well, so it's easy, it's easy. So the F150 has a very similar setup to the Mach-E, so a very big screen to your right, but you also have a cluster to the left. So very Ford-ish in this driver's environment. So there's also the Hummer EV. This thing is huge, but it's weird though, like GMC. They're tucked away in a corner. There's no proper lighting here. But yeah, haven't seen this real life before, and of course it looks really massive. I don't have a lot to say about the Hummer EV besides that it looks huge and that it's not my favorite EV of all. I'm not a truck person, but where I'm not really thrilled with the Hummer, I think this looks great. The first ever electric Silverado. This looks so fab. Like, it looks dynamic, it looks sporty, it looks great. And this car is also huge, but I don't know, it just, with the lines, it just looks really, really sleek despite its size. Loving this, the Silverado. Color looks amazing as well. This is for sure a move over type face of a truck. If you see this in your rear mirror, you don't want to be in the way. So pretty impressive. 754 horsepower and 0 to 60 in under 4.5 seconds. And this is a big truck. And Chevy, look at this Blazer. I think the Blazer also looks really cool. There's a lot of lines going on there. As you can see on top here, there's a shoulder that curves from front to back. There's also a lower curve, so there's a lot of design elements going on the side of this car. I think it looks really good. This red pops a lot. I'm not a fan of the interior, which is kind of like a darker red-ish to black dual tone, but yeah, dynamic. Just as with Cadillac, I wasn't expecting cars coming out of those brands looking like this. Really cool. The lights somehow remind me of the Thor's hammer from Volvo. Like, this could almost be a Volvo headlight. That's not a bad thing though. Really aggressive type design. The taillights are also cool, like they wrap around, as you can see, front to back. Charge port door on the front. I prefer on the back. Seems like a lot of brands are doing it front now. Yes, so Hellcat for the future, I guess. And it's really cool how the front end has this spoiler through the hood, which is very much the same concept as for the Polestar 3 actually, which of course is coming out before this car. Let me show you. There's a spoiler type thing with a hood scoop leading the air through. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. This is a concept, but look at those wheels. So there's the interior for you. Isn't that quite something? The Daytona. Wow. And look at the concave back wheels here. Well, it's a concept, but I'm really hoping they'll make this. It's probably the most popular car of the whole auto show in terms of how many people swarm around the product. Signing out from the LA Auto Show 2022. It wasn't a huge show, but there are a lot of really cool cars. Of course, the main focus EVs, which is nice. I think the INDI EV is a standout. I'm hoping to come back to that. I've got their contacts, so I'm hoping we can do a test drive or a ride with them. And I do love the 67, the Mustang with the electrified drivetrain. That looks just fantastic, even though it's way up there in terms of price range. Hope to see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that jazz. Thank you so much. Have a good one.